Hi, it's Jill Maurer. I'm here again with bartending whisperer Geoffrey Cunningham, and today we're talking about one of my favorites, gin. So we are going to learn all about gin and what goes into it and what we can make from it.
Gin is going to be kind of the cousin to vodka. We spoke about vodka before. I said vodka was neutral, it didn't bring anything to the table. Where gin is, I like to think of the original flavored vodka. So what makes gin is juniper. Juniper is a berry. So juniper, it's gonna give, that's where you're getting that evergreen, that piney kind of flavor out of the gin. You can do your research, and with each gin they'll give tasting notes on there. Some have, this Bombay Sapphire in particular has lemongrass and peppercorns. Tanqueray 10 has grapefruit.
Yeah, unlike vodkas, which I guess there is a little bit of difference. I don't know, I've never been too much of a vodka drinker. I definitely have preferences when it comes to gin.
Yeah, and it's kind of, as you explore different gins, you'll find out what you like. Mm-hmm. This first kind of drink that we'll go into is just your classic gin and tonic. So that's done in our cocktail glass. We add ice, we put gin, and then this is just store-bought tonic here. They have name brand. It is Fever Tree. There's different kind of Mediterranean tonic. Lots of different tonics that will add to the different flavor profile. A classic gin and tonic will have a lime. So we just slice this wedge here. And then to finish this drink, we'll squeeze that lime right into the top. And there we have our gin and tonic. Moving forward, to take on the same aspect, we're thinking about gin. Gin has its characteristics. It has botanicals. It's got flavors that are going to complement with the other ingredients. There's a classic drink called the Rickey, and that would be a gin Rickey. Since we're using gin, you could go vodka Rickey. But Rickey is just lime juice and sugar. So you would take 2 ounces of gin, 1 ounce lime, and 1 ounce sugar.
So I've never had this. This is interesting though, because I tend to have a gin and tonic with a lot of lime. So in a sense, you're doing what I like. You're doing a lot of lime and then
yes.
Gin. So, this is going to be a strong
to have, as you said with tonic has quinine. Mm-hmm. So it has its own kind of flavor. Yeah. This is only going to have the flavor of lime and sugar. The sugar will be sweet to balance the lime. And this will be served in a Collins glass. So we're going to fill our Collins glass with ice. Our mixture that we had is going to be strained off into the glass. And then it will be topped with soda water. So much like tonic, tonic has its own flavor. We're adding a neutral, but it will still be bubbles. So this classic combination is pairing the tartness of the lime, the sweetness from our simple syrup with gin. Those botanicals will be there. The tonic isn't bringing any, or tonic would bring its own kind of flavor to it. This one was just straight lime. The gin, so you get all those flavors of those botanicals. This will also be garnished with a lime. Straw. Now, these will always be generally done in a taller glass so that the bubbles stay within.
And when a bartender serves you a drink with a straw, are you supposed to drink out of that straw, or is that to stir?
You can. The straw, it can be used to stir, but generally drinks with a straw, you can use a straw.
But if you get a little stir that happens to be a straw, that's more just a stir, right?
Yes, and since the straw stir does have drinking capability, you could use it as a straw.
I've seen it done.
It's a slow sipper. It's a sipper straw.
Okay.
This last cocktail that we're doing is a play on a classic cocktail where the basis is Cointreau, lemon, and gin. So now our first 2 cocktails used lime. This one's going to incorporate some lemon. So just lemon, Cointreau, and gin is what we'd call a daisy. At some point, there was a bartender that wanted to incorporate Campari into the mix, which is an Italian bitter citrus liqueur. So it's going to add a little dryness on the back end. So we have our lemon. We have a 1/2 ounce lemon, 1/2 ounce of Cointreau, which is an orange liqueur. And then we have our touch of Campari. The Campari will give it a nice pink color as well. Now this cocktail, as our first two were served with ice, this one will be served without ice. So what we want to do is make sure we get as much out of the ice as we shake as we can. So it's cold. So you're sipping on it. As you're shaking, you want to break up the ice to dilute the spirit in our ingredients. But what we're doing in this shaker is mashing all these ingredients together. Have our glass. Generally, when you use, if a cocktail has no ice, you don't generally want to use the tallest glass.
Okay.
It'll just fit nicer in a short glass. And for this one, we would use a orange as a garnish.
Because of the...
There's some, what we're going to do is express this orange peel over the top to give the aroma of all the citrus. So what you're doing is there's little bits of zest.
You can see them all coming.
Yes, the oil comes right off the top. Would you like to try this one, Jill?
I would like to try it. Thank you very much.
I think you'll like that one. That one's summer, fresh. Easy enough for anybody to do.
I love that. Despite its pink color, this is not a sugary sweet drink. It's a really nice drink.
No, the sugar content is only coming in the Cointreau in there,
Yeah.
which is also a pretty strong liqueur.
This may be one of my new favorites. Well, thank you to Geoffrey. Cheers to
Thank
Geoffrey
you.
for teaching us a little more about gin. There will be more information below. The recipes are below. And we will see you again next week.